I'd like to introduce you to Shannon.
Woo! Hi, Shannon!
Hi. Shannon actually lives here in the great wilds of Mount Laurel. This is Sukkot, one of the great holidays of outdoors, and the holiday of the harvest, when we give thanks for a good year and hope that next year will be even better. That this is our connection to the holiday, our understanding that if it wasn't for farms, we wouldn't have food. If it wasn't for people who worked hard to produce that food, we would be hungry.
Farm, we do grow everything all naturally. We don't use sprays, and we kind of like to live in unison with the animals that are around, so we don't really do too much pest control. There are lots of bees out here. And does anybody have any guesses of what the bees' jobs are on the farm?
They guard their honey if you go too close to them, they'll sting you.
That is true. There are some of them that have the job just to guard the honey. Anybody else know what else the bees do besides honey?
Pollinate.
Pollinate. So they're very, very important. This little guy, he's being a little shy today because he's one of our woolly caterpillars.
Do they eat much of the bad bugs?
They're going to eat some of the plants, but why I brought this guy out for you guys to see is you can look at the fur, and you see how when he's inching, you see how you can see his blackness on his body? Well, depending on how furry he is, a lot of times that's a good prediction for how cold of a winter it is. If you see a hawk out flying, and the hawk's flying out in the sky and he's really up high, it's going to be a nice day. And the reason is because the wind and the rain is much stronger the higher up. So if he's up high, it's not too bad out. But if he's down low, it could be a very good chance that storms are coming. A lot of times the moon has a lot to do with when we're supposed to plant things that affects things.
The holiday Sukkot began on the full moon, the 15th of Tishrei, Hebrew calendar. So we pay a lot of attention to the moon for our own calendar use all the time.
So what we're going to do is bring the kids out here, and we're just going to see what potatoes we can find. And you can reach in the dirt a little bit and see if there's any hiding in the dirt. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around, collect all the potatoes, and you can see that some are in the ground a little bit, in the dirt a little bit. You guys can have fun digging in the dirt and see if you can find some that are buried in there a little more. But most of them are right on time.
This is a mitzvah called Pei'ah. And what it is we glean fruits and vegetables and food for the poor. So if you were on an apple orchard, for example, the apples that are on the trees, those a farmer can sell. But a perfectly good apple that's fallen to the ground and no longer on the trees, Jewish law says you can't sell that. It's got to be donated to the poor.
Let me see if I can get what a potato looks like.
Right there.
Got a basket.
Go down here.
All right, Josh, look at me.
Josh.
No, bend down.
Sophie.
Bend down.
Pick one up.
Now, turn your head towards me. While you're bent, that's it, perfect.
Yeah, we're there.
All right.
Picking the ones over here.
Girls, stay down on the ground for a minute. Stay down. Stay down.
You finding any, Riley?
I'm good.
How's it going? Let's see.
How you doing,
Oh my goodness, look at how many you have.
Can I take a picture of the two of you? 1 second. I found a nap together.
Nice.
When you're done, bring the potatoes over here. Good job,
Every
girls.
December, I take the confirmation kids to Israel, and we do the same thing there. Actually,
Tia and Dina, after you dump your potatoes, you're gonna get. After you put your Tia and Dina, after you dump your potatoes, you're gonna get.
I'm the beekeeper here on the farm. I've been keeping bees for about 5 or 6 years, but today there are bees all over the farm. You probably saw bees as you were walking around. There's bees flying around us. So the bees you see flying around this hive didn't come out of the hive. They're bees that are out and they smelled the queen, they smelled the wax, they smelled the honey, and that's how they communicate. That's what attracts bees. So they wanted to come over and see what it is. There's one queen in a hive, and she can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. In the summertime, she lives for 2 or 3 years. There can be 50 to 60,000 bees in each hive.
These are males.
Ellie, do you want to get potatoes? And you come back. Can you help me?
What we learned today is that we learned some methods for sustainable agriculture, and we learned about how all of God's creatures are important to farming and to the food that we eat and the harvest that we celebrate here on Sukkot. We also did the mitzvah of Peah, of gleaning food for the poor, which is a totally appropriate thing to do on Sukkot, and we're really happy that we got to do this.